So you're a bag of salt water that's basically in some discrete parts. You're basically your head and arms up here, you're a bunch of lungs, you're a heart, you're a liver and some bowels, you're some kidneys, and then your trunk and abdomen and legs and stuff. So this is basically you from a blood flow perspective. Now, there are some interesting word origins that would be interesting to discuss, but ultimately not terribly useful from a Cambridge perspective. So you can fast forward through this part if you're just studying for the Cambridge exam. If you're not just studying for the Cambridge exam and you want to know, then by all means. If I care to, I'll put a link right here, just right here, to skip forward to the part that moves you forward. But if I don't remember, then you'll find it on your own. Everything will be fine. I believe in you. All right. So, carotid comes from the Greek for neck, and that leads to the cerebral arteries. The cerebro comes from Latin for brain, cerebro. Subclavian. Sub is underneath. The clavicle is Latin for the carriage, this bone right here. You know what? This is the internet. I'm sure somebody in the comments will remind me. All right, collarbone. Yeah, there we go, collarbone. The collar. So the brachii, is arm in Latin, brachii. So this leads to the brachial arteries. Now, the pulmonary, the pulmones, is the lungs in the Latin. So the pulmonary arteries and veins will lead to the lungs. The aorta is Latin for something that is hung or carried because of its shape. It's basically an arm strap, like a strap or a loop. Because of its shape, the way that the aorta hangs over something, the way that it hangs over the rest of the great vessels, that's the way the aorta is described. Those lead to the coronary arteries. Now, the coronary, corona, means crown. If you put the heart upside down, if you just flip this upside down, then the coronary arteries ring the heart and then grow upward like a crown of thorns. In a lot of the religious imagery of the time, of the time that anatomy was first growing up. Now, I'm not saying that there's a causation, but there's certainly a correlation here, that there's a lot of that Renaissance paintings that show yeah, well, this is the internet, so I'm probably going to explain more anyway. A religious figure, who I'm sure many are familiar with, let's go with that, that has his heart out in the open right here with a crown all over it, a crown of thorns, as it were. Yes, and at the time there was a large interest in anatomical correct drawings, especially of the works of Leonardo and Donatello and the like. Now, this is not necessarily a coincidence. So this coronary heart, this crown shape of these arteries did not go unnoticed. Now, mesenteric, this is Greek for bowels, mesenteros. Hepatos is the liver, is Greek for liver, hepatos, so the hepatic artery and vein. Renal. Renal is Latin for kidneys. Iliacus is Latin for the flanks, and the flanks are here. So your iliac arteries run here, and this is where your iliacs run, and those are your flanks. These lead to la femora, the femur, the thigh. So your femoral arteries are in the thigh, and that leads to your femur. Now, this is probably where that little link is going to go, right around here. Anyway, now, effectively, your So pulmonary system is what leads to the lungs, and your systemic system is what leads to everywhere else. The red lines are the oxygenated blood, and the blue lines are the deoxygenated blood. Purple is the mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated. I'm going to break some dreams right now. There is no blue blood. No matter what veins you look at in your skin, that's not really blue. Sorry, it's not really blue. Your arteries and veins all carry red blood. It's all red. Hemoglobin is red no matter what stage of oxygenation it is. Blue is just a convention that is used in drawings to make things easier for us in art, in scientific art. So arteries and veins are not necessarily always just blue or red. Arteries can sometimes carry oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. Veins can do both as well. It depends on where it is. So we need a better definition. But veins are veins that carry oxygenated blood toward the heart are going to be coming from the lungs. Veins that carry deoxygenated blood toward the heart are coming from the systemic system. Arteries that carry oxygenated blood away from the heart are coming from the carry oxygenated blood away from the heart are coming through the aorta. Arteries that carry oxygenated blood away, deoxygenated blood away from the heart are coming through the pulmonary trunk, the left and right pulmonary vein and pulmonary arteries. So these are your pulmonary and systemic circulations. Now, this is an even less anatomically correct image, showing your pulmonary circuit, showing that when you have a low oxygen concentration, you will also have a high carbon dioxide concentration. So these two things go hand in hand. Oxygen and carbon dioxide are alternating. So high oxygen will have a low carbon dioxide, and vice versa. High carbon dioxide will have a low oxygen. So oxygen is acquired in the lungs, and carbon dioxide is dropped off in the lungs. Oxygen is dropped off in the body tissues, and carbon dioxide is acquired in the body tissues and produced in the body tissues. Now, here is a broad strokes overview of the left and right heart. We have our inferior vena cava and our superior vena cava dropping off blood into the right atrium from the systemic circulation into the right atrium, through a valve into the right ventricle, from the right ventricle into the pulmonary trunk, into the right and left pulmonary artery. From the right and left pulmonary artery, we will be going to the right and left lung, respectively. From the right and left lung, we will be returning by the right and left pulmonary veins into our left atrium. From our left atrium into our left ventricle. From our left ventricle into our ascending aorta, into our aortic arch, to our systemic circulation. That is a rough overview. But now we get to the fun part. More labeling. Yes, more labeling. Pause the video and see how many you can memorize.
Cut. You can't read a single word that's on that slide.
Zoom in.
Paper. Yeah, I think we don't need to remember all of that. As long as you can make sense of most of it.
I'm not going to run through all of these myself. I'm just going to have them pause. And then I'm going to continue on because my voice is hurting right now.
What's your favorite part of the heart?
Oh my god, this is so long.
That one.
Little ligament.
All right, can you see it? Is it in focus?
I want to be a straight on, whatever. I don't care. Okay.
Whatever.
Okay. I'm gonna. Oh, I've been recording the whole time. Sorry.